Review code provided by Decibel PR. A quick note, if the footage looks a bit choppy at all, it's because I'm recording the game while running it at 60fps on a mini PC and is not indicative of the actual performance. Onechanbara Origin is a remake of the first two Onechanbara games from the PS2, trading in a budget realistic style for a more modern anime look, though its simple series history can still be felt. You play as zombie hunter Aya, who could care less about that and is more interested in finding her long-lost father and sister. In this game, you'll troll around pretty basic areas like abandoned hospitals and sewers, hacking and slashing at the undead with a fun and super stylish combat system. Dodging at the right time gives you a nice slowdown effect with some cool flips, or you can parry to break their guard more, which can, after a few goes, stun the enemy, giving you a bit more incentive to perform well. Combos are given a visual aid so you can create a cool finish. Playing as Aya, this allows you to sweep through and cut in half most enemies, and you'll soon find an enemy type that can only be hummed by that attack or by attacking in berserk mode. Your weapons become covered in blood, so you need to take a break to shake it clean, known as reloading, otherwise your damage will be decreased. As you fight regular enemies, you'll be covered in bloodstains. As Aya is from the Baneful bloodline, she can go berserk, which increases her attack and movement, but lowers her defense. A quarter through the game, she unlocks ecstatic mode, which flows through from berserk, and in this state you are constantly depleting health, but can replenish it from attacking enemies, and luckily cannot flinch when like this. Though early on in the game I'd get a little annoyed when I'd reach berserk and get interrupted by cutscenes and then be brought back to normal right after. You do unlock a couple of bars that build up, but empty if you aren't attacking, for a special attack as well. You then get different weapons to swap between with their own reload bars and another playable character about halfway through, as that was finishing the first game. This allows you to swap even in the middle of a combo, which I preferred to do as Saki was great for pushing back large groups of enemies, but I'd switched to use Aya's slicing attack as opposed to Saki's individual suplex. There's also a third character that can be unlocked or paid for if you're impatient. A gradual increase of different enemy variety quickly comes into play, including the Mudman that can't be attacked normally. I like the fat zombie that sumo stomps all the enemies up into the air. Of course, being almost all zombies, enemies will continue to attack even if they're missing limbs or are decapitated, which is pretty funny to see. I was worried how the difficulty was going to go being a combination of two games, but they definitely give the standard enemies a boost halfway through, though they'll only introduce a couple more enemy types, preferring to go for a few red variants who are faster and can take more of a beating. There's the traditional scoring system for various actions and time taken in a level. I believe in this a V rating is higher than S, I think. Your character will gain experience and upon level up can get some stat points that they can build into either health, attack or defense. The stages are mostly short, but have some breakable crates hiding items, and if you have a healing spot that also cleans the bloodstains off you. You can access a shop during and in between levels to equip rings for stat buffs or other benefits, or use consumables. After beating the story, you unlock an endless wave mode, which feels much better than the actual practice mode as it gives you experience. This is the kind of game with a very short campaign. It took me 6 hours, probably less if you don't get stuck. I played on normal, which is basically easy with a nicer name, so if you're even the slightest bit experienced with this style of game, I'd recommend playing on hard. There are also 2 unlockable difficulty modes after that. There are in-game achievements that unlock not just gallery items, but special rings as well. I think the updated visual style works just as well, as Aya is certainly an attractive woman with all the best assets you could ask for. And the hat has jiggle physics! Of course, there's lots of costume DLC, and as the game released before embargo, I was able to treat myself to some. You can also buy bonus missions, weapon skins, and additional songs. The game looks fine for a remake of a couple super budget PS2 games with lots of focus on the character models. Playing on my small PC, I rarely had any issues with the frame rate at all. I played with a gamepad, but the default keyboard controls seemed fine. I did towards the end see a few visual glitches, such as an attack effect that wouldn't disappear, even in the following cutscene, but nothing too major. Also later in the fight, some of the visual effects around a couple of the enemies were a bit much. My main issue with the game is the camera, as it can push in a bit sometimes, which is particularly annoying during certain boss fights. There's a few screamy type tracks, but they aren't too common. Otherwise, I think the music's fine, I just didn't hear it over all the enemy telegraph noises. There's an English dub plus Korean, Chinese and Japanese, which makes me wish they could get rid of the subtitles during fights, as they can be quite distracting. The game has plenty of cutscenes throughout, though the story is relatively basic, it's not overly annoying. This is the kind of game all about the combos, multiple difficulties and the challenge mode. Even when I got a little bit stuck, I still didn't feel like playing anything but this. Not sure if it's a fair criticism, but I do wish there was some local online co-op, at least for the bonus mode. I give Onechanbara Origin a 7 out of 10. Bye! V rank for